Wyze Robot, showing you the mapping skills, showing you the amount of debris that it picked up from a floor that had been vacuumed in about 3 or 4 days. So it should have got actually quite a bit. But like I said, mapping's great, suction's okay, got hard floors, it's fantastic. But watch the video and hopefully you enjoy it. Okay, so I promised to make a video of the Wyze Vac, and I have not. So I got a request and a reminder to do it, so we're gonna start it up right now. And we're gonna show the mapping skills of this Wyze. Now, this is a very loud vac. The thing literally sounds like it should suck the carpet right up and almost eat it based on the sound of it. The sound is very loud, but it is not as powerful as it sounds. I'll tell you that right now. Once again, my famous test that I like to do though is that I run it and then I run my old Shark vac afterwards and compare to what my old Shark picks up, and that's kind of my comparison on how well these vacuums suck up. But as we can see right away, if you notice this, how it ran right down this line, this is the separation of a sunroom and my kitchen, and immediately it started out perfect. Now, once again, I said the mapping skills on this Wyze is the best I've ever seen. Just absolutely phenomenal, and you're going to be able to witness that now. So what it's going to do is every single time it's going to go around the edges. Now, the nice thing about it is every once in a while I'll put items in the way, as you can see here, a little toolbox there, speaker. It will recognize those and completely ignore them and go around, which is fantastic. So it disregards it, keeps continuing to clean like it should. Now, what it's doing right now is we see it's going underneath of the floor, underneath of the couch, I'm sorry. Which is, you know, there's an edge because this couch is tilted backwards in the back, so it actually can only go so far. But we're gonna watch this completely go around and do a phenomenal job in mapping. I just wish, once again, that they could make these vacuums a little more powerful, have a little bit better suction. When it comes to crumbs, fantastic job, don't get me wrong. This thing will have a lot of little fine crumbs in there, but as far as carpet goes, you know, it's limited. Once again, this container, this is your typical, what I'm noticing with a lot of these vacuums, small containers in them, and the filters immediately kind of plug up, and then they only suck so much immediately, which will obviously, you know, hinder its suction capabilities. I think that's a big part of the problem. Now, with my old Shark vac having a huge container, it actually just sucks it in, and when it's finished, having a big container, it allows a lot of dirt to fill in there without going right into the filter system. You can see there's one of my other Sharks actually sitting right there in the corner with a little beach ball on it. That's the Shark RV100, which is actually a higher model than the Shark that I'm actually telling you guys that I test with. But once again, my cheaper Shark is pretty good. Now there is a metal bracket somebody shoved in here, so I'm gonna have to move it. I see here that somebody shoved it underneath, so we got it. Let me get this out of there. Alright, let's move that real quick. This off to the side. I've been doing some staining of my kitchen cabinets. Unfortunately, they've been off for a while, so I'm gonna end up having to pay for somebody to do that. But anyways, back on the subject here.
that would have ran all the way up under here and continued around. But we're gonna see what it's gonna do. It might just finish this room out actually. And then once it does that, then it'll find another room to complete. But typically, like I said, if I remember, this would always just edge first, unless that was just you know, in the beginning process during the mapping. I really don't pay attention, to be honest, guys. I just turn the things on and let them run. So I really don't remember what this does. But you can see how nice it's edging, sticking to the program, following edges, going around. And honestly, I did make this room separate. So now that I'm thinking about it, this is the sunroom, which, you know, I have 2 windows here, 2 windows here. That's why we call it the sunroom. A lot of light comes in this room. Why we have these plants in here also, they do good. But yeah, it will actually do 1 room at a time. So it's gonna, what it's gonna do is gonna finish this sunroom, and then it should move into the kitchen and then into the living room. So I got 3 rooms separated. So we'll see how this goes here. One thing this does do every once in a while is it does catch on some of my thin carpets that I have laid about. Like this one. This one's not too bad. But this one over here, it does actually catch up on that. Need to turn on another additional light. Hey Google, turn garage light on. Alright, so beautiful. So here we go. So now it depends on which way. This one's going to map. We're seeing it's taking the shorter strokes here. So it's coming right there to the edge, going back. Just perfectly beautiful. There's a little lip there. Some of my my kids running around actually kind of pulled my flooring back here, so it kind of catches in that little spot. But look at this. Look at these beautiful lines. You see how it edged? So what it did was it edges the room, goes around all the edges first, and then it goes down the centers and vacuums. Look at this. This is enjoyable to watch. I mean, I just love it. Look at these beautiful straight lines. This is just an actual joy to sit there and watch a vacuum run in perfect unison within itself, in perfect lines. Absolutely what it should do. Doing a great job. Great job. Alright, so look at that. So that's going to finish this side of the coffee table. And I'm assuming it should be, I don't know if it's going to go right to the toolbox or not. But let's see. Yep, beautiful. And you notice how Ed stops right there at the edge, just goes past it far enough. Like I said, the mapping layout on this is beautiful. It's very easy to use. The mapping is really clear and clean. The app, so it's very simple. Now this is one that's going to be a tough one. I'm not sure how it's going to think this out now that it edged it, because it does have a very small amount of space between here and between here. So this might confuse it a little bit. Let's see what it does. It looks, it's going to carry on the lines, it looks like, for the most part. I mean, this is a smart bot. Look at this. This thing is smart. All right, what you gonna do? There you go. Okay, there you go. Following the line. Nice, perfectly straight line. Now it's probably gonna go. Should go along that coffee table a little bit. Man, I love this thing. I love the mapping on it. I'm sorry, but I know the suction is decent. You know, don't get me wrong. I know robot vacs aren't really made yet to do a complete, you know, suction of an upright vacuum. I understand that. That's completely understandable. But like I said, to a certain extent, they should be powerful enough to do what they need to do. But there he goes. Look at this. This beautiful mapping. Nice straight lines. Very well done. And once again, you know, the when you want it to clean just a specific room, say for instance, you know, your kitchen obviously is going to get a lot more crumbs than that. You can individually just send it to go right to the kitchen and just clean that area. But why these other, like I said, the D-Bot, we can go on down the list forever, the iRobot. Why couldn't they have their mapping skills? I mean, Wyze comes out from making cameras. Obviously, they're doing a lot more now, doorbells and home alarm systems. But, I mean, in fact, I mean, they're into everything, watches, and they're all reasonably priced. And for the most part, some pretty good quality. I love their indoor cameras. Getting a little off the subject, but they do make really cheap, nice, really nice indoor and outdoor cameras, to be honest with you. And I have them all over the place. But yeah, they come out here, and their first vacuum that they make is a beast when it comes to mapping. And why yet these other companies that make robot vacs, and that's what they specialize in, can't make their mapping as good as this. It's beyond me. And if I were to even take this thing, and it does have multi-level mapping now, which I haven't set up yet. I probably will do it after this video. That even if I took it out and ran it upstairs, even though it's got this downstairs map, it will actually do a pretty darn good job. It will run along edges of the upstairs instead of following a specific map, like it almost senses that it's not the map, and it'll actually do pretty good. It'll sense a room and clean the room with straight lines. So once again, this is kind of, and sometimes this table gets rearranged and moved around, this coffee table here. It gets pushed. But I think now, see, we notice it missed this, so I think it's going to come back for it. Yes, it knows. Look at this. Love it. Love it. It knew it missed this little spot right here. I mean, this is really putting this vacuum to a test. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it got caught up on this metal bar that was underneath of there, and I kind of had to stop it. That kind of threw it out of whack, but yet it came around the coffee table, edged it, and then came back to this spot. Once in a while, it does get caught on the bottom of this entertainment center. Alright, now let's see what this is going to do. I think so. Now it knows it completed this room. Good job. Now here we go. Now it's time for the kitchen. It's going to come right along this edge. What you're going to do, let's see, I don't want to say in advance, but I have confidence in this, that it knows what it's doing. Very well done. Look at this. So finish this living room, or this sunroom. Now it is going in here. So look at this, right along the edges beautifully. So now this is kitchen time. See, there's some crumbs here. Let's see if it gets that. Oh yeah, did it get it? Beautiful. Mind you, that wasn't a planned crumb, that just so happened to be there. This is a spur of the moment video I'm making. So here where I live in Michigan, there's a lot of, we got a lot of snow and salt right now, so that's what a lot of this is on the carpet. Let's see how it does here. Let's see, is this embedded? Huh? Well, you see that? Didn't even, I mean, on the carpeting, once again, look at all these crumbs. It's not the best on carpeting. And this is a very, actually, thin carpet, as you can see. But here you go. So now it's going to continue to map. And there he goes. Now it stopped at that border. There's my old faithful Shark R750, I believe that is, sitting there. That's my old backup one that I used as a test. Right there, if you guys ever want to pick one up, they're cheap. They work really good. They're a random bot, but they work great. But you see all those crumbs that just missed. So on hard floors, it's pretty good. And I'm going to throw that piece of right there and see if it grabs it. Yep, so on the hard, see how I picked that up? So on the hard floors, it does great. But any kind of carpeting. But look how nice this is, though. Look at this edging. Edging. Just beautiful. Edging the whole kitchen just flawlessly. Gets that crumb. Did he get it? It did. Yep. Good job. A few little crumbs there. Might not. These are kind of far under the stove, but we'll see what it gets. Oh, shot it out there. Oh, nice. Picking them out pretty good. I know there's one it's not going to get. Oh, man, it got it. Wow, all of them. Look at that. Well done. Right. Yeah, smart technology is not always the best. I got my whole house with all smart bulbs, and one of them, as you see in the background, is flashing on me. So if the lighting gets dim and brightens up, that's because one of the smart bulbs is defective. LED smart bulb. I don't remember the brand offhand right now, but as you guys can see, the whole point of this this video was the mapping capabilities of this robot. As we continue on, we see this went around, did that sunroom with all those obstacles. You've seen a planter out there. You've seen a coffee table, couches, entertainment center. You can see that it did it perfect, and now it's coming here into the kitchen and going around the border flawlessly. So once again, the mapping skills on this is definitely top notch. No question. There he goes, and I should stop right here. There you go, cut straight across. And forgive my videos, I'm not a professional editor or big YouTuber. I'm trying to get there slowly. I'm gonna start. Been doing a little bit of editing of my videos, but so now what it's gonna do, it looks like, is it's now making straight lines down my kitchen floor. So it did all its edging. And there we go. So you see how too it didn't go all the way to the very edge, it stopped right there. So there's my good old kitchen light freaking out over there. And I'll maybe take a screenshot, make some screenshots too of the mapping. You'll see how nice the lines are even on the mapping. They're flawless, they're perfect lines. No sporadic runs all over the place, but just up and down flawlessly. Look at that. Rides over this really thick mat, which is you can see the dimensions. Rides up on it, comes down pretty good. Some of my other bots don't do that. They'll start freaking out and go off course. But this rides it pretty good. Let's see. There you you go. Look at that. Rides it up. No breeze. Doesn't fall off track. Stays on course. I mean, well done. Now, Wyze, just, you know, I tell them all, make some bigger bends. You know, I think people even said that, like, I think it's my D-Bot that has the mopping capabilities. It looks like they designed these Wyze to do the same thing. And I think that might be part of the reason why they put such small debris bends, dust bends, whatever you want to call it, inside, because they have the other tanks with the water. So we see here Mr. Chrome right here. Once again, it was on the very edge and that thing had to ride up. Let's throw it out front. Alright, got another little crumb here. Alright, see when it comes back. And after this is done, I'll show what debris it's got. I think it's been probably 3 days since the floor was vacuumed. So we're gonna see after 3 or 4 days, you know, what this does for carpeting and hard floors. But once again, just flawless. Look at the mapping, guys. I mean, this thing's not running all over and going crazy places. It's just going straight up and down like it should be. Now I'm gonna see about making this under these legs of this dining table. It does really good also. Rides around all the corners very well with no issues. Handles it perfectly. So I'll stop this now, and then my next one will be I'll show it doing my living room. Okay, actually I think here it is. I think it's time to go into the living room. Let's see how it does. Yep. Alright, now it's making sure it's mapping itself around. Now look at how it starts right here immediately. Alright, it's gonna run here. Gets right into that corner. And here he goes. Flawless. It's gonna start right around here, edge perfectly. Now if you've seen my previous videos before, it has a lot of my vacs, the D-Bots, the iRobots, they come here to this entertainment center and they think it's a wall, and they will continue on across and then start doing the living room. But like I said, from day one, taking this right out of the box, it did it flawlessly, edged with no issues. Turn on my little fire, add a little pizzazz to it. Alright. Now look at this. Look how that rides along just perfectly. I mean, this is doing just what it should be doing. Covering right around. But yeah, like I said, the other bots, they for whatever reason, they would just cut off right there at that entertainment center, and then kind of run it like it was only half of a room. Sometimes they would finish the other side of the living room. Sometimes they wouldn't. Look how it got right in that corner. Nice and good. Here's another one of those rugs that possibly flips up. Well done. Going across here in the edge of the shoe holder there. And as you see, it's all it's doing is edging. It's the first thing it should do every time it goes into a room. All vacs, I think, should do that. It should get their edges done, push anything that's out on the the edges of your walls, crumbs, shoot them out toward the center, and so that way when it comes back around, it'll be able to pick them up with no issues. But nothing deters this thing. I mean, so it saw that curtain a little bit as an obstacle, so it kind of ran around. This can be an issue. This chair here, you see, it is. Look at the LiDAR. That's pretty sweet. So it's got you can see them clearly there. That's pretty sweet. The rays there, the lasers, whatever you want to call it. That's awesome. Doing a great job. So once again, sometimes this chair is farther back from the wall, but as you can see, it's not enough for it to go through, so it was smart enough to just go around it, not get itself stuck. But I mean, look at this. It's just flawless. And then the other thing, what's nice about it is, I know some robot vacs have issues with dark colors. For instance, like we saw my entertainment center, how dark that was. My floor's dark. We see these couches are a dark gray, but it had no issues with dark colors. It still reads them very well. I mean, look at this, just flawlessly going right in front of my couches. Sometimes this area gets a little tricky. It comes around my printer, and I have a little back section there with the curtain, but now this is black coffee table here, or end table, I'm sorry. It reads it perfectly fine, no issues. It runs all the way around. And we'll see how this does. I really, like I said, I normally just run these, leave them, let them go, and I don't really pay a whole lot of attention. So, did not go behind there. It's gonna come around here on this printer. Just wire out. But here we go, it's still continuing on, coming around the edge perfectly. But like I said, I want to show you, I mean, since I'm here and I got my my old shark here, you're gonna watch how it runs around this chair. I want to show you guys again. Showed it in my previous videos, but I mean, look at the size of these containers. I mean, you see how the filter's up on the top? So when it sucks from the bottom, and all the dirt and dust collects into the bottom of the tray, and for the most part it leaves that filter on the top with, you know, a little amount of dust, but not like what these are. The filters are located straight in the back side of the dust beds, and so when the dirt gets sucked in, they get sucked straight in to the back section. Like I said, versus the designs of these, they get sucked in, but the filters are up high, so you still get the airflow. And look at the size of these too. I mean, let me show you the size of the filter. Look at the size of this filter. It's huge. This is the size, half of this is the size of these other bots. The D-bots, the iRobot Roombas, they're half of this size of filter. So once again, what do you expect from these things? The containers are half the size at least of these other bots, but you see how it circled around that chair? Did very well. It doesn't miss a beat. Throw this back in here. But I mean, literally, if you don't want to spend a lot of money, you want something that actually does a good job. You know, get a Shark RV. Was it 750? I think they make a 751. This particular model, I've had some of the 750s. They look like the same color as this. They look like the same design. But this particular one, Shark, it actually slows down before it hits things, and then barely taps it. But that's the nice thing about this Wyze too, is you see, look at it running right around that. It does a great job. No banging. Doesn't slam into anything. Looked at my previous video, the iRobot Roomba. I don't remember what model that is offhand right now, but it's slams into everything. Which, like I said, some of my other old sharks do that. This particular one does not do that though. So right there it is. It edged that whole living room as you saw in the video here. It edged it perfectly. And now it should start separating itself, and it's gonna run perfect lines up and down. With no issues whatsoever. And the cool thing about it is, I mean, it's so detailed. Like, look how it stops just before it gets to that entertainment center, runs itself back, and it's going to even know how perfectly it's going to make these lines, just to show you that it's going to stop here. So instead of, like, you see how it has stopped there at the entertainment center, and instead of stopping there and just continuing a cycle like this back and forth in this area, it's going to know to continue back on to the rest of the living room, making all one straight line. And by the time this is done, my carpet looks just absolutely beautiful. I have such nice lines in it. But once again, unfortunately, I end up most of the time, if I'm not going to hand vacuum, which I think it's about time for me to do anyways, I run the random over there, and it ruins these lines. So right now I'm kind of defeating my purpose of these nice lines. So what I could do is I could always run the shark first, and then run the Wyze afterwards to pick up any residuals, if there are any that the shark might not got. But honestly, I don't think it's going to happen. I think the shark's going to get pretty much everything it can that this Wyze could never end up touching, could ever get. So now this did stop, but you see it's picking itself back up, and now it's going to make that continuous line again. Look at that. Look how it curved around that just perfectly. Well done. Now this is where it's going to possibly lift up that carpeting. Now mind you, so it has its purpose, so it's going to finish this area out with nice perfect lines, back and forth, and then it'll exactly pick back up here in the living room where it left off. So now it's going to continue this one whole side of the living room and then carry itself back on. But as you see, this is working perfectly. Nice straight lines like it's supposed to. No issues. Battery's doing, like I said, the battery's pretty good in this, for sure. But you know what, though, like I said, it is very noisy. Very, very noisy. If noise is a problem for you, if that's a big concern, this is extremely noisy. In fact, I just had my sister call, and my mom had to leave the room because this is so loud. She thought I had a washing machine or something running in the background, and I just told her it was the vac. And like I said, I don't mind noise. I sleep to noise, so I love it. In fact, I would like to listen to this when I go to bed. If it could just stay running around my my bed, I would fall asleep to it. But that's just me. But I know a lot of people don't like that. So, like I said, once again, if that's a concern, you don't want this vacuum if sound is a concern of yours. I mean, you can hear how loud it is now on this thick, on this really extremely thick carpeting that I have. But so you see it pick back up where that line was. So for the most part, what it's going to do is going to turn, and it's going to continue that line up, which is nice, like I said, for it to, for its mapping and making it look neat with its lines. It makes sure that makes complete lines, not unfinished lines. Stop there, take a left. It's nice when it's a predictable bot and you know what it's going to do. There you go. Continue back on. So I guess, you know, like I said, there's not not much more to say about this bot. Like I said, my personal feelings, I give it 100%. You know, out of 5 stars, I give it 5 stars for mapping. It's flawless for it, no question about it. Suction, you know, I'd have to give it based on from what I've been seeing, I'd have to give it a 3.5 to a 4 for carpeting. For hard floors, crumbs, things like that, I'd have to say I'd give it a 5. For the most part, it gets everything. It really does a good job on it. Kitchen floors are always typically flawless, no crumbs left over. Every once in a while, like I said, it might miss one. One little crumb here and there, but that's expected. So I would give it a 5 on that. Noise decibels, I honestly, out of the 20, close to 20, 15, somewhere between 15 and 20 robot vacs that I've owned, this is absolutely, I would say, is the top of the list of loudness, of decibels, no question asked. So for that, I would give it a 1 if you're looking for quietness. So that's what I would rate this. But like I said, you look at my overall floor, look at these nice, beautiful lines. The only time there'll be one line out is because if it finishes, obviously we can see the way it started on this end of my dock is over here. So the only problem with this would be that it starts here, it's going to finish off here by the couch, and it's going to have to make a path going across over into the other room over there. That's the only thing that I would see where the line would go off. I don't know why gotta focus there. But once again, this is it. Probably gonna cut this video off. No sense in making any more. I probably can complete this video and I'll just speed it up, do a little fast forward speed on it so you can actually see the complete work that this does here in the living room. Still running down flawlessly, doing like it should. Nice straight lines. Don't mind those crusty feet that walked through the camera there for a minute. That was just a little ad-lib to my video here. Add a little excitement. So you see how it circles nice around that leg? Very nice. Great job. Doesn't miss a spot by no means. And once again, it's got a chair here. It's got a footrest that it has to work around at the same time. That it does it very well. It maps it out very good. Reads the obstacles well. So, and what you see it doing to this chair is exactly what it does to all 6 chairs in the kitchen. Literally will circle around, what's that, 6 times 4? 24 legs. It will circle around all 24 of those legs to make sure it does not miss a crumb from in that kitchen. So there he goes. Now it actually, I think it will actually even go around. As you see, this this footstool has just enough room for it to go between it, but it will actually circle around each one of these 4 legs also. Oh, maybe, actually, you know what? That's a tight fit for it, but it's actually almost the exact size width of the vacuum itself. And once again, the nice thing about these vacs is they work in pitch blackness with their sensors, with the LiDAR and the laser combination. They're able to operate and see in the middle of pitch black darkness, which is one thing you don't have to worry about leaving lights on for it to operate. I know there's some other ones on there that, like my Shark, my other Shark, not the 750, but the R100, or they make an R1000. I think the 1000 is just the one with the automatic suction on it, vacuum, that sucks it up. That one, I think I remember, that one has to have the lights on, because it doesn't have LiDAR. It only has the laser, so it doesn't work very well. Or it has only the LiDAR, it doesn't have the lasers. I can't remember which one, but I know that one needs the lights on for it to operate correctly. So we got, you can see here, lines all straight up and down. You have only that one little section right here that it has to finish. So now this should go underneath of this coffee table over here, where these twinkling toes are. It's gonna go right there. Alright, here's that section. Get a step back view of it. It's going to finish this underneath the coffee table. So it's very thorough, no question asked. It's a very thorough bot. It does not miss any spots whatsoever. So now what it should do here is it's going to come around on
unfortunately, there's another leg right there, so what it might actually do here now is it's either gonna completely finish cleaning underneath of the coffee table, or it's gonna start continuing back its lines and start heading back the other direction to finish that part of the living room. Which actually I think is what it's about to do. So right here now it should. Well, I see what it's trying to do. It's finding, it's got, unfortunately we got 4 legs from the footstool, and then we have 2 legs here from a coffee table, so it's trying to clean around each individual one. And unfortunately these 2 are side by side, but look at how well it did. It went around it and cleaned the best it could, considering its predicament that was put before it. There he goes. All right, well done. Well done. So it should run about right here, I would say. Unless it's gonna finish this leg. Like I said, you'd have to watch it all the time to remember exactly what it does. But it's pretty consistent for the most part. Goes around each leg, as that's what I'm noticing here. What it's doing is it's getting each leg once it gets to a leg. All right, so this is out of my kitchen, my sunroom. This is it. It will come back. Obviously, the charge couldn't complete the whole downstairs here, so it left this section. It should come back and complete that after it's done. But one thing is good about this is always finds its base. That's not an issue for it at all. Always finds its base. Look how quick it's going to it. It's hidden right there in the corner of that wall, but a lot of the other ones, they struggle finding their base. See, and this is smart enough to know there's a wall there. Even though it could sense it through this wall, it doesn't bang itself right here trying to get to it behind the wall. It actually notices there's a wall there and continues to come around. And look at that, and finds its base right here between this tight space. I don't remember what they say the distance is supposed to be, but I got maybe a foot on each side here, and that's plenty sufficient for it. And this is how it docks itself. It goes in forward, spins itself around.
Starting to charge.
And there we go. And let's see what this got. Let's pop this up. Let's look inside. See what did this clean. So I'm going to show you guys here. You see this tiny hole? You see this container? I want you to, I'll do another comparison. I did it with my other ones, but I want you guys to see this though. I'll just do it again real quickly for this video. I'm going to pull the one out of the shark. Let you guys see a comparison in size. You see that? I'm going to open this one up. Show you the design here. You see the size of that filter? Look at that container. Now let's open up this one here from the Wyze. If you have any questions on that video, feel free to reach out to me. If there's anything you think I could do better, add, delete, give me some advice. If you liked it, please like it. Subscribe if you get a chance. I'd appreciate it. All that would help. All right, thank you.